understand you want to talk about active fathers. I understand that. We can talk about active fathers.
You're coming on my show telling me what I'm missing. Like, tell me how that sounds. Let me come on your show. Let me tell you what you're missing. You know what? I noticed the only people I hear doing this.
This is black men for you.
What's going on, y'all? She got CJ 100.
Your guy T is the Phi.
And we are the Phi 100 podcast. I need y'all to do me a favor right fast. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can get all of our content as soon as it drops. With that being said, let's get back to the video. You dig? Back at you with another live reaction video. Man, Sir Hell Speaks has been cooking for like the last week, 2 weeks. You know, having some good content, good conversation. And he had a live episode called Should Active Fathers Be Put on Child Support? Now, if y'all don't know who Sir Hell Speaks is, he's a dope content creator in these spaces. We've been on his show several times. He's been on our show a few times. You know, he's family as far as this space goes, right? So make sure y'all go subscribe to his page. He told me to tag him in it. I want to just show him some love. Now, this reaction is going to be to the episode I was telling you about previously. Should active fathers be on child support? There were a couple things that, you know, that were, how can I say, problematic.
It's a testament to how, when we in these conversations, you see how we try to stick to a point. But anytime we try to stick to a point, we'll have women enter these conversations and try to change the narrative to where they are. And y'all gonna see this in these clips because, like I said, I watched it. Me and my wife watched it, and we both was like, they wasn't even talking about that. Where the hell y'all going with this? And y'all,
they didn't even care.
Nah, didn't even care. Nope.
So let's go ahead and get into the first clip.
Sir Hell Speaks.
Genesis, do you want to respond to that? Right after the book of Genesis, we want to hear from Ashley Michelle, and then we're going to get Brother Bolo in here as well. Zoe, I see you back there, and I see a little podcast. I see you as well.
Any parent who is not supporting their child or who is not doing their part supporting their child should be on child support, male or female, period.
And so I get where Genesis is coming from. Like, you guys want her to address the active fathers and not revert back to the ones who are not. But what you perpetuate are the same ideas, that Black women are out here trying to beat the system and using the white man against them.
So basically, forget what he's talking about.
Pretty much. It is. Okay. I want to say what I want to say. I don't care what the subject is.
Okay, go ahead.
So let me respond to that, because that was a lot.
I'm almost done. What if you look at the stats? The Census Bureau reported most recently in 2018 that only about 69% of custodial parents receive child support, and only 43.5% of them receive the full amount. And not only that, average child support payments are only between $3,000 and $4,000 a year. So, you know, if you're having these conversations, you have to be honest about what you're perpetuating about the system and about Black women.
Okay, so she brought in stats, which they hate when we do, but whatever. She brought in stats about child support not being paid, right? Here's the issue with that, and Sir Hell's going to speak to it, but I'm going to speak to it right now. That's everybody, right? You got a section of women that pay it, you got a big section of men that pay it, and that all plays into that final statistic that she broke, you know, not even broke down, but just, you know, casually threw out there. What does that really have to do with being a father? See, they like to inflate this argument. They like to make child support taking care of your children only if you're an active father.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not an active father and you're not paying the child support, or you are paying the child support, now you're not there for your child. They play monkey see, monkey do, seesaw games with this child support stuff, which is why it's an issue. Now, she said it's a bad look on black women. It is. Because if this was the case, we're talking about active fathers. Why are you constantly reverting back to the deadbeat? It's because you want that to be the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. How dare Sir Hale make a show speaking up for fathers, whether they're in the home or in an extended home, whatever the case may be. How dare you talk about the good fathers? I gotta come put y'all back in line.
And that's what happened a lot of the times when we had these conversations like this. Is it is some active fathers, but look at all the bad fathers. And for that to be, for us not to even have a space to be able to have these conversations without it going that way is sad. And it's gonna get worse on these clips, y'all.
And I don't have children, but
of course not.
I understand where Genesis is coming from. You guys are kind of perpetuating this idea that black women are out here just misusing men and using child support when they're not even getting money, and the money that they get is not nearly comparable to what it is required to take care of children.
Okay, we gotta stop there. So I appreciate this, but did you hear the beginning of the show?
No, I've heard a lot.
Okay.
I've heard enough.
Okay.
Problem number one.
Of course you didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Thanks.
This is very simple. So you missed the part where I said that men who are not taking care of their children should absolutely be on the system. Should absolutely. I did this because I've had enough of these discussions.
And that's one of my points is I've talked about with you before. What's the point of a man being on child support when he's not taking care of his children? And I know people will say, well, he got money. In a lot of cases, when men are not taking care of their children, it's because they're bums. Mm-hmm. They don't have it like that. So what's the point of putting them on? Because Genesis even mentioned in the show, and I won't play that, where she only gets $12 a week from the father. So he's not making money, she's not getting it. So what's the point of putting them on it? Come on, we know what it's about.
Thanks.
Just to know that if you don't say that, then this conversation flips. So I started off with an entire monologue about men who are not active, who are not taking care of their children, who chose to have a child and then didn't do what it takes to raise them. These men should absolutely, positively, 100% be put on the system. I actually said that the system was made for them. So I don't think you heard that part.
The system was not made for deadbeats. The system was made for active fathers. The system wants to bring in money. A deadbeat is not going to do that. A man that is not doing anything is not going to do that. That's, I get why he says that, because it's a misnomer in our community. Like, we don't really understand the system, because until you've been into it or been around people that's really been through that, like I broke it down to you, your brothers have broke it down to you. Like, you completely understand what the system is. A lot of people don't. They think that it's supposed to be a punishment. It's not. It's supposed to extract finances.
Yeah, and I think me being a guy on the outside looking in, I done heard these stories and I haven't experienced it. So I always try to look at it through that outside lens, but put myself in the situation. And I definitely feel, where you coming from on that. It is about money. It is about finance. We did an episode where we talked about how when they wanted to get rid of it, not get rid of, but even like make it more fair for men.
Right.
It was gonna be taking money away from the state. It's like, wait a minute, that shouldn't have nothing to do with the rights of this child. So we understand what it is,
There's no way around it. And also, judges get 10%, but people don't want to talk about that either.
Of course.
Right. But anyway.
Right. Okay. So, do you address the men?
Well, hold on. Before we jump to that part, I said what I said. So, hold on. Wait a second.
No respect.
None. And note, the show wasn't about men that weren't doing what they were supposed to do.
Keep that in mind.
The show was should active fathers be on child support?
Okay, y'all ladies have to help me understand. Why is it when I have women on my platform, you guys don't respect the host and you guys talk over the host? Like, why do I only get this from ladies?
Because they don't respect men. This is why they don't respect black men as fathers. Only time you get some modicum of respect is if you're with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They don't respect you, bro. That's what it come down to. Like, they can try to dress it up how they want, but that's why, Sir Hill, they don't respect men. They don't. That's just what it come down to.
Because you negate the things or you ignore the things that we're saying.
You didn't hear my monologue, so what did I negate?
So you're negating the fact that your audience, the one that you are reaching, are perpetuating.
She's talking about the chat, bro.
Thanks. That what, bro. That's what threw me when I watched it. It's like Sir Hale and these people like us. We don't have no control over the chat. We can't control what people say in the chat. If they get out of control, yeah, can we block them or redact what they say? Yes. But if I'm doing a show, I don't have time to be down here checking the chat the whole time.
Right.
He ain't responsible for checking the chat.
Right. Come on, man.
These ideas that black women are out here milking a system.
Tell me what's one man on this platform that said women are milking the system?
I'm Twine too says, do you hear the stat black men are 50 gave about? Oh no, that's not the one.
What man on this panel?
No, but the men on the panel are not the only men listening to this.
No, I'm asking specific questions. I know who I have up. What man on the panel has said this?
I'm not talking about the men on the panel.
Well, I am. See, this is what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about the men on the panel. I believe I heard CJ
you guys, ladies, listen.
Now you heard my name mentioned. Genesis mentioned that CJ said, look, I said women are using the system. I said nothing about milking. I actually never really even mentioned the money. What I said was it gives them a sense of control because they can use that against you. And it gives women sort of a leg up when it comes to trying to make a man do what she wants him to do. That's what I said. So, whatever.
Ladies, listen. When I come on y'all show, I'm respectful. I'm gonna need that same respect on my show. Now, I started this conversation off by saying what inactive fathers should be on the system. We're not changing the conversation because you guys want to talk about something different.
Put that foot down,
the conversation that I'm having. I've already acknowledged that there are men that don't take care of the responsibility. For them, the system was made. With me not making this show primarily about that, that's not me negating that there are not absent fathers who are not active. What I am saying is that there are more good fathers. The majority of fathers are decent fathers, particularly in the black community. That's what I'm addressing today.
And that's the problem, Sir Hale. Understand that. That is the problem. They want to I advise people go back and watch the Sir Hale show. This whole show, I advise you go, because we're not going to do the whole thing here. But I advise you go back and watch the episode, should active fathers be put on child support? Because what you will notice from every woman on that panel, what they did was go back to the deadbeat. That is what they do. And when they talk about the active, they want to tell us that we're an anomaly. And then when we challenge that, they want to say, well, what is active? We're not idiots here.
Thanks.
Everybody here knows what an active father. We're not talking about the gift dropper operas, man. We're talking about the fathers that are involved, whether it's every weekend or whatever custody setting they can get. And it's hard to get a fair one. That's another part of the conversation, but they don't want to talk about that because they want to just say fight, but they don't want to put the money in your pockets.
Thanks.
That's what we were trying to get at, and they were just not having it. So that's the problem, Sir Hill. You ain't do nothing wrong except go against the sisterhood and what they got to say about black men.
And we see it don't matter if it's your platform, it don't matter if it's a neutral platform. It's only gonna go one way.
Facts. Let's get back to it.
And I want to stick to that topic. So if we have something on this, let's continue there.
I do have something on that.
Okay, please.
It was the fact that almost half of the child support payments that are ordered are not received. You ignored that.
I did not ignore that. So let's deal with this thing. So you said this was taken over the last year. What happened over the last?
So if you look, no, wait a minute. That was in 2018 before the pandemic, 1. And 2, this statistic has been constant since 1993. I can give you the chart and I can give you the source. I'll put it in the comment section. This is constant since 1993.
I wonder if she did that.
Almost more than half, only a quarter of child support payments that are due are paid in full.
Now, I have a question on this stat that you're reading. Does this account for both men and women in one lump sum, or is this about men?
It accounts for all child support payments.
Okay,
I do know that some of them would be from women.
Yes, so if we're going to have this discussion, then we'd have to break this down. We have to break this all the way down, because what you're purporting or supposing is that if this show is about men, that it's the men who are failing to pay. And if we're saying that women account for this as well, then there are a lot of factors into this.
Pay for child support. You all just
okay. There's another thing right there. When you have these conversations and you talk about active fathers and being on child support and how we're having to do it more than anybody, they'll say, well, there's women on it too. That's the argument then when you're having that conversation. Now it's, well, hold on, of course there's women on child support. Of course that's a part of it, but majority of it is men. The argument has flipped.
Right.
Now, she's right. Of course she's right, because we've always said it. But the point is, you're flipping the script to get back to proving your deadbeat point. She will not let it go. She's a dog with a bone with meat still on it. Bro, you got anything you want to say on that?
It go to what we talk about when it comes to moving the goalposts. Word salad. It's all the same thing. And when we had these conversations, when we in the trenches, we always see that it don't matter if your point right. It don't matter if what you saying makes sense.
Right.
I want to be right. I want y'all to acknowledge that my point is valid. I don't care what y'all point is. And it's like, how can we have a real conversation if that's your mindset when you come in the door? Like I said, bro, I done talked about this offline. I'm going to say it online. I don't believe women should be in these spaces.
I don't either.
It's not the fact that your opinion doesn't matter. It just don't matter here. Like, it just don't. And that ain't no disrespect to y'all. Yeah. It's just, at the end of the day, men have these conversations because we try to put other men up on game and we try to get them to up they stop. But when they jumped in this conversation, they completely tore down what Brother Hale was trying to build up.
Facts. They derailed it. And that's why we believe what we believe, man. These folks don't belong in this space. They can be a guest, but and it's like, and it seems as if we're trying to criticize Sir Hale, but we're not. That's his show. He has the right to do what he do. But from an opinion standpoint, from a viewer, because I'm not when I'm on his channel, I'm not a content creator. I'm a guest. So I'm there to, be entertained by what he's doing, add my contributions to the conversation. But as a viewer, that was hard to watch, bro.
It was.
It was hard to watch because, black man broke down on there, brought his kids on there, explained what he was going through, even though I believe his point wasn't on to what we were actually talking about, but his point was still poignant nonetheless, because he's showing you, bro, that doesn't get talked about. It's one side of this, and they kept saying about their voices being heard. Bro, we've heard this for 50 years.
Thanks.
I'm tired of hearing it because I know what you're gonna say. I've heard it all my life from aunties, my mama, my grandmama, my cousins, women in school, women that I met in the street. Like, I've heard this same old story. It's never I kept them away from the child. It's never I was mad at him, so I put him on child support. It's always he's not doing something because that's how they have to justify it.
Yep.
Let's get back to we're about to move to the next one in a second.
Just said this. Most men are the ones who pay child support.
That is correct.
Okay, so I'm not saying that it's only men who are not paying child support. I did acknowledge that some of those are women. I just acknowledged that.
I really want to ask you guys a question. What's the disconnect between should active fathers be put on child support? Like, where are we missing each other at?
Okay, I think what you're missing is what I just
why do you keep on saying I'm missing something?
Because you're missing what
you are, Sir Hill.
I understand you want to talk about active fathers. I understand that. We can talk about active fathers.
You're coming on my show telling me what I'm missing. Like, tell me how that sounds. Let me come on your show.
Let me
tell you where you're missing it. You know what? I noticed the only people I hear doing this.
This is black men for you. You're missing my point.
This is black men for.
Seemed like brother was being pretty respectable to me. Respective. Trying to keep the conversation going, letting y'all come in and speak on it, and that happened.
What do I say? I mean, she said you're missing something. As far as the context of the conversation goes, he wasn't, but what she actually means, he's missing. And this because Sir Hale is a good guy, from what I know anyway. And he's just trying to control the show. He probably knows it, but you know, most people probably don't. They don't understand it. What he was quote unquote missing was the fact that you're not going to sit up here and big up fathers and talk about any woman in any way that I don't agree with. I can't allow that to happen. And that wasn't the first time it happened. So, I'm about to pull up this other video, but like, do you get what I'm saying by like, she's not understand. He's not missing something. She has a point that she's trying to get.
Respect and all of that stuff, bro. It just seemed to go out of the window when we had these conversations when a woman don't approve of what the conversation is. And that's why it's so important that we have this conversation amongst us. That, to me, that's just ultimately what it is. And I understand, like I said, this ain't a diss to Sir Hill. His platform is his show. But they derailed that conversation, the whole thing.
That's just a fact, bro. I'm sorry, it just is. So I'm putting up this other clip. So in this clip, I was actually on the show, not quite yet. I'm showing you what prompted me to go and jump on. Genesis was asking this guy right here. I seen your little podcast. He's a funny guy. I've seen him in Fight Club a few times. She was asking him questions about fatherhood and what he does, and Genesis said something that is so important that men pay attention to, and they need to understand how dangerous what she said is, because it brings home a point. And I'm going to let these people hear it, and then I'm gonna play the part when I come on. So let's go ahead and do that.
He just talked about leadership.
Did I?
Everybody make mistakes.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It is what it is.
Did I talk about leadership?
I wasn't done. I wasn't done with my question.
Genesis is cross-examining. When she's done, I'll take over as well.
Genesis, I was reading the verse. I wasn't talking to you. I was reading about it.
So you had children outside of a marriage.
Look at
you had more than one mother of your children.
She about to butter him up before she fries.
Have you always been there for your children, meaning physically, financially, emotionally, otherwise?
Yes. She's using the ways of the Force.
She's about to fry him. She about to butter him.
No. I'm his defense attorney. I got him.
Yeah, she got him blindfolded, walking him toward the lava.
Canola oil.
Okay. Have you always been gainfully employed?
No.
Ooh, she's trying to knob up.
Okay. This one you can say you don't want to answer, but
come on, Genesis. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, this show just took a turn.
You said you haven't always been gainfully employed.
Mm-hmm.
So how were you there for your children financially all the time if there were points where you weren't gainfully employed?
It's not all about.
Okay, I wanna cover something here. Now, why is she so focused on the finances. She asked questions. Now, I didn't play the whole thing, but she asked him, are you involved in your child's life? Have you always been there? Were you married to the mother? He wasn't, but he's been there financially. He's been there physically, all that, right? But she harps on financial. I'm gonna give you why I think she did that. Why do you think she did that?
Because that's the most important thing in a way. I think honestly, when we hear these conversations, it's never about spending time. It's never about being a great influence.
The most important to them?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's the most important to them.
Okay. I believe that. And I would add, because they know the financial state of black men. It's a weak point. See, that's why I'm bringing it back to Ashley. The reason that they're harping on it is because they know that's the weak point. And we actually make more than them, so that was in our shoes, they would most likely do worse. But that's another story for another day. But they're harping on the money for a reason, because they don't, if they're not with the father anymore, they don't care that they're there for the child. I'm just telling people the truth. Like, they might not see it like that, but that's the truth. That's why stepdaddies get so much more praise, because the stepdad is going to still be smashing her, living with her, putting money in her hands without her having to have the legalities involved. But they put the legalities in the conversation because they want the control. And the reason that they're mentioning the money once again in this same conversation is because the money is what matters most. But they know that black men make about $45,000 a year. And they know that black men go through struggles with hiring. They know how we're looked at in this system. They know this. So that's why they play that card. And what she's about to say, bro, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to it.
Oh, okay.
No, I asked the question. I asked that first. Have you always been there for your children, physically, financially, emotionally, or otherwise? He answered yes. Then he said there was a time where he wasn't gainfully employed.
Objection.
So that would have been a block of time where you weren't there for the children.
Objection.
You may have been able to
what that
means?
You
may have been able to be there physically, but you may not have had the finances to go with it.
Objection.
Wait, guys. Genesis, I seen a little podcast. Approach the bench.
This might be so funny.
Objection, Your Honor.
He good, bro.
Yeah.
He's
Leading.
good at what he does.
Leading the way.
Hey, guys.
Overruled.
Right. No, but see, listen, this is great. I want you all to realize something right here. This is why this is so great. Let me show you why this is so great, right? First of all, I have to ask you a question. What does it mean if I wasn't there financially all the time? What does that mean? What does that say?
Because when we're talking about, when we're having these conversations about these single women and what they're doing with these children and why the children aren't turning out to be this, that, and the third, we're saying, where are the men?
Objection. Leading
Running from the women.
Did you catch that, Tess? Where the man is has nothing to do with financial. Okay. We can go back.
I had a question because I heard Genesis said something. I seen a little podcast, right? She talked about how was he gainfully employed, and he basically turned it around or whatever. But my question is, if a man isn't, let's say, just 100% on point financial, do you mean that does that mean he's not being a good father?
I think being a good father is a total package.
Oh, damn.
100% of the time.
It's a total package, but you skirted over the other parts of the package just to focus on money.
That seemed to be the case when it comes to these situations.
I told you why.
Yep.
All right. Back at it. I set her ass up, bro. That's what I did. Because they tried to go past it. I wasn't having it. All right, let's go.
Lose your job. You're a deadbeat.
Listen.
Shit.
for parenting. Parenting.
Because she knowing at this point, she knows, bro. Yeah. At this point, she's seeing that she gonna hold on to her guns, but she knows what she just said was foolish.
Facts.
All right.
Or female. What does money have to male or female?
What does money have?
Hold on, let her finish. You gotta let the host finish.
See how I'm respectful?
Let me finish.
Yeah, pretend like you're listening.
For male or female, you don't get time off. There's no grace period or anything. You have to be on point at all times, period. If you're not on point, whether you're a male or female, then you're off as a parent.
Some high standards, man. I mean,
bruh. And she said there's no off time. Are you serious?
Like, bro,
come on, man.
I know men and women that'll never get to these standards that she's talking about.
Because it's like, for black men. That's why. Come on, go ahead. Go. I'm sorry.
This had nothing to do with a man and a woman thing. This was her saying that as a father, you should be there financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, everything. And you don't have no time off. But I didn't see with my own eyes women drop their children off to grandma.
Come on.
To auntie, to mama, to big mama. So
but that's because they gotta go work. Do the man not work?
Like, come on now.
This is where this argument it's just always been foolish to me, because what they do is constantly move the damn goalposts. It's word salad. She's gonna say, women that ain't handling their business ain't supposed to they supposed to be put on child support or whatever too. But she knows that's not the case. She has to say that. This is word salad, ladies and gentlemen. No, this is word salad, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Pay attention to this, because this is what they do. This argument is so easy to pick apart because she's playing a role here. Now, this is not, I have no ill will towards Genesis. I don't know her. But what she's saying out of her mouth is so dangerous, because basically what she's saying to you, basically what she's saying to you is that you have to be an in-home father outside the home.
Ooh, thanks.
They put those same standards on you as if you were actually living with her. And when you're not in that situation, it's not that. And even when you are, Tez, as a married man, what does your day-to-day look like? You break it down for him, because it's not much different than mine as a deadbeat, right?
Extremely busy. I said, if I'm working a 12-hour shift, gotta do that. Gotta work for the podcast. And I still gotta be able to spend time with my wife and my child. See, that's what I'm saying. Even if you a father that's not in the home with your child, they expect you to do all of that, plus child support, plus emotional abuse. It's like, how? And they expect somebody to just sign up for these all willy-nilly. Man, it's pitiful, bro.
Bro, and when I talk to women about this, which is why I don't do it, but this is what happens. They'll constantly take it back to them, what they go through, what they've seen, yada, yada, yada. And I'm just saying, nobody wants to continue to hear that same conversation, because there is another part of it. And what the problem is now the microscope and the spotlight is being put on women. That's the difference here. Because fathers do the same. Bro, come on, bro. We know Bug, and he's doing a lot better, by the way. Shout out my guy Bug.
Thanks.
That's a single father, bro. Take care of 2 kids. One mother is not involved at all. Black Man Unfiltered, same situation. Like, this is like the full custody is uncommon, but the taking care of their children is not uncommon, bro. I can't stand when they do that. They'll always go, well, you're just an anomaly. No, we're not. And Sir Hale was trying to prove that in that last show he did, because that was 2 different shows we played, if y'all didn't know. But the first show he did, he was trying to show that, and they wouldn't allow it. You have to ask yourself why. You have to. But guys, I just wanted to speak on this. Me and Tez had a conversation about this because, boy, it's a serious thing. And what those men were subjected to on that panel, it was disrespectful. Like black man was in tears, bro. Black man was explaining his situation. Go ahead, Tim.
And none of them women said, "I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings. I'm sorry if I'm not fit, if I'm acting like I'm not concerned." It was none of that. It was just, this my point. I don't care how you feel about it. I don't care how you take it. Deal with it. That's what got me.
Because we are the sisterhood. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. That's what they do.
Yep.
They don't care. They don't care, bro. Like, and this is applies to who it applies to. If it don't apply, let it fly. Because I'm not putting no disclaimers out there for you. You know who you are. And this is a game that's constantly been played. And the point of these spaces and the point of I'll just say the 5100 podcast for sure is to expose this, is to give men a voice and try to give men solutions. I actually tried to give men solutions while I was on that show, but it was being overtaken by the deadbeat conversation. They will always bring that up to derail the active fathers, because honestly, if you're not with that woman anymore, they view you as a deadbeat. That's what it come down to.
Yep.
So anything else, my boy?
Man, that's all I got. I just like CJ said, man, I implore y'all, go watch that episode. It was definitely an episode that if you are a man, even if you ain't got kids, I want you to see this with your own eyes. I want you to hear the whole conversation, and it's a long live. Pick your pieces.
Right.
But I would definitely say you need to sit down and listen to this, because it shows you the difference of how men handle these conversations and how when you let women enter these spaces, how they handle the conversation. And it didn't even have to go like that.
It did not. So, shout out to Sir Hell Speaks. This, like I said, we're gonna be honest. So we're not trying to take a shot at you, but we got to keep it real from our point of view. That's just what we do. And I'll be tuning into your new shows because I enjoy your show. You know what I'm saying? But that particular one was bad, bro. Like, it was bad, but it was good for brothers to see what's really going on. Maybe that was his purpose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was just trying to show you the disconnection. And Sir Hell's a smart guy, so I give him leeway as far as how I look at it, because men do what men do, and I'm not gonna overly criticize a man for handling his business, especially a man that's a married man, a father, handling his business. So whatever he saw fit, he did. That's just not how we're gonna operate, because I don't want that. I don't want to see that anymore. That was hard. That was hard. When I was on, I was upset, bro. Like, when y'all see me on the show, I was upset because they kept trying to paint that picture. But we beat this enough, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. Y'all go ahead and check out our membership and all the perks that come along with it. And we will be having more reaction videos here. But what we will do is we'll have more descriptive and more uncensored, uncut comments, uncut commentary on the same reaction videos we do, and that'll be on Bullhorn. And if y'all interested in being on there, you can email us at the 5100podcast MEM@gmail.com, or you can just leave your email in the comment section, and we will shoot you the link so you can join us on that platform. And that's all I got, my boy. You can take us on out of here.
So y'all, look, on that note, we're gonna wrap this thing up. So for your guy Tez the 5,
your guy CJ100,
this is the 5100 podcast.
You did.